Hi, I'm Sharon, and this is my sister Laurie, and we are at Lovejoy's on Main Street in Whitesboro, Texas. So welcome to the shop and to the Mom and Loving It show. And we want to talk to you today about something that if you have a husband at home, I think you'll probably be able to relate.
Yes, absolutely.
Have you ever noticed when your kids get a gift, maybe by the next day or certainly a month later, they can't even remember probably what they got for their birthday or for Christmas.
Right.
And they've lost interest in it, and it's just not as fun. At first they played with it all the time and they loved it, but now it's just not a big deal anymore.
Exactly. The new has worn off.
Yes. Well, sometimes in my marriage, my husband is kind of like this gift, and he was, when we first dated and were first married, there was so much that we didn't know about each other and always things to talk about, and things were fresh and new and exciting. But then I remember on our year anniversary, I actually cried because all of the firsts had been done. That sounds so silly because we hadn't even had children yet. Little did I know there were lots of firsts to come. But I think that it almost marked for me the ending of the beginning, and it was kind of like maybe I didn't even realize it, but I made things not as exciting, and they weren't as exciting, and the new had worn off. And you know, I like the verse in Proverbs 18:22. Kind of, I like it, I guess. It says, "He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord." And I want that to be true in my marriage. But I know that sometimes my husband would not say that what he has found is good, because there are some days that I'm not the best thing that ever happened to him. And so how do we change that? We could beat ourselves up as wives for not treating our husbands the way that they really, maybe sometimes they don't even deserve to be treated, but the way that we know we need to treat them. How do you move from being the negative, whiny, complaining, maybe spoiled, rotten wife to being what God calls us to be, is respectful of our husbands?
You know, I told Sharon, I'm wondering if in that verse that it talks about he who receives, who has a wife receives it's a good thing. And I said, you know, does the husband receive favor because maybe his wife prays for him? And that convicts me. Ladies, I just have to ask you, and I'm asking myself, how many days go by that I forget to pray for my husband? Especially on days that you're frustrated with them, that the new has worn off and they're anything but a gift to you that day. But does that give me the right not be the gift that he needs? And I think that choosing, willing to do what you know God's Word says that we need to do as wives makes all the difference. It's our choice. We can either be miserable, we can be defensive, we can bite back when they bite at us, or we can stop it. We can choose. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to argue. Instead, I'm going to zip my lips and I'm going to pray. That is probably the hardest thing. I don't know about you, Sharon, but that's the hardest thing for me to do, because I think, oh, I want to be heard. He needs to hear my side.
It's not fair, or whatever, or I'm being mistreated, or this is just not right. Yes. And so, to be respectful, maybe it's a big stretch for you. Maybe this has been going on for a long time in your home, and you're just feeling like everything's bad and you can't see anything good. Well, start with this prayer, so that you can be respectful to your husband. Ask God to help you see the good things in him instead of just seeing the bad. And when I've done that, and I've also asked God to help me fall in love with him again, Lord. Help it seem new. It is still an adventure. Every day is different. And so I pray that you can see your husband today as the gift that he really is. But now, it's just not a big deal anymore.
Exactly. The new has worn off.
Yes. Well, I'm kind of like that with my marriage. I know when Pat and I first got married, and even when we were dating, he was like this precious gift to me, and I would take him out and play with it. I mean, you know, I can't do that. Oh my gosh.